Welcome to Action Hound Media, the site and channel all about action. Life scoring, get some more action into your life. So today we're going to talk all about defense, meaning stand-up defense, all kinds of defense in the martial arts realm. Before we talk about all you need to know about defense, let's talk about martial arts in general. Funny as it may seem, in martial arts, it's all about defense, but the first thing they teach you is offensive stuff, right? So you go to a boxing gym, and what do? They teach you how to punch, how to throw hooks and jabs and crosses. And if you go to a kickboxing gym, they teach you how to kick. It's always an offensive tactic that you're learning. But the reality is you need to concentrate on defense and learning how to deal with these offensive tactics. The first thing you want to do in terms of defense is know your ranges, all right? So in a previous video, I talked about the different ranges in martial arts, all right? So one is a kicking range. So if you look at so here's my partner over here. If we're in kicking range, he's close enough where I can reach him with a kick, right? So this is kicking range. And then if you're in boxing range, he's close enough to get hit with a punch, right? And then if we're in trapping range or clinch range, we're close enough like this where I can throw leaves or elbows, right? And then there's grappling range where, you're all clinched up and you get taken to the ground and you're wrestling and doing jiu-jitsu. So the first thing you got to know about defense is range, all right? So if this guy is my opponent, the first thing I need to know is that what area is my comfort zone where he can not strike me. So if I'm far away from here, I'm outside the kicking range, he can't even hurt me at this range. So this is a good safe range. And when I'm in this range, I might even keep my hands down because I'm safe. He's not going to be able to hit me. And if he does throw a punch from that distance, I could just cover up. I could see it coming, right? This is the kind of range you want to feel somebody out in, is staying outside the kicking range and see what he's going to do, right? I like to stay outside the kicking range, but then I'll enter the kicking range to see if he throws kicks or if he throws punches, right? And then if I want to counter or really get into it with him and punch him, then I get into boxing range, right? Boxing range is the most dangerous range because that's where a lot of different offensive tactics are going to hit you with. So you get hit with punches, right? You get hit with punches. You get hit with a low kick. From here, you could even step in and hit you with a knee, or he could step in and give you an elbow, or he could just take you down, right? So boxing range is the most difficult range to defend against. That's why we concentrate on the boxing range, because boxers have the best footwork and know how to get in and out of danger, and also are fast enough to use their footwork to get out of danger. So boxing, I would say your boxing skills in terms of defense is going to be your best way to alleviate your concerns about protecting yourself. It's easy for the guy to shoot down, take you down, all right? So if you're in a street fight or if you're doing MMA, you have to be cognizant of the fact that he's off for a double leg or single leg takedown, try to grab you and take you down to the ground. But still, overall, boxing is the range where you need to be most proficient at to increase your defensive skills. So let's talk about stance also, all right? So here we are. I'm a lefty, so my rear hand is my left hand. That's where my power is. So I'm going to stand basically with my feet at kind of a 45-degree angle, shoulder width apart, and a little off center. Like in a 45-degree angle, I'm a little off center. I'm not completely squared up. So wrestlers might take a lower stance like this. So if you're totally into wrestling, you're gonna have a lower stance like this to avoid the takedown and also shoot in for takedowns. Having a low stance like this is not good because, well, first your hands are down. The other thing is you're very susceptible to head kicks when you're lower down like this. In MMA, guys, at the beginning used to have a lower crouch stance when they fought, but now they're more upright in boxing stance, amazingly enough, and they just have really good takedown. If somebody shoots in, they take down, or at times they do get taken down. But anyway, so we don't want to be too crouched down because it's going to open up our heads. So again, I'm going back to saying the best stance is your boxing stance. So here we are in a boxing stance. Now in a situation on the street, you don't know what the other guy's going to throw at you, right? So you need to be able to be very cognizant of your groin area, all right? So in the street, I'll be light on my feet so I could just be able to pick off any shot to my groin. So I'm always thinking about my groin because people fight dirty in the street, so you never know what's going to come at you, right? In a sports competition like boxing, Muay Thai, MMA, Nobody's going to hit you over there. So you could be less concerned about any groin shots. But in the street, always be aware of your groin, because you will get kicked in the groin if you're in kicking range and that guy is a dirty fighter. Okay, so street is very different from any other situation. But again, here I am in my boxing stance. First thing you want to know about being in your boxing stance is you can't be flat-footed, all right? So here I am, my feet are flat to the ground. The problem with being flat-footed is I'm slow to make any kind of movements, all right? This is no good, all right? So what you want to do when you're in a boxing stance is you want to stay on your toes. When you're on your toes, you're quicker to react, all right? You can push off a lot quicker. You have these muscle spindles in all your muscles where a quick stretch will make you react faster. So if you're flat-footed, you're not going to get a quick stretch effect and you're not going to be able to move fast. But if you're on your toes, you're ready to move. So I'm here in my rocker shuffle, in my stance, ready for action, right? If I'm in the kicking range, I don't have to worry about keeping my hands up because they're going to be far enough. If they do kick, I just could raise up my hands, all right? As I get closer to the fighter and I get into boxing range, that's when you have to worry, right? Because you can get hit with anything, right? So if I'm in kicking range, I'll keep my hands down, maybe even try to draw them to hit me, right? But when I get into boxing range, I'm not a counter fighter. You know, some guys like to keep their hands low like this and somebody throws and then they take a step back and then they counter. For basic defense, you should have your hands up. So as I get closer to my opponents, my hands go higher and higher, right? If I'm in boxing range, this is my stance, all right? So anything from the body, you're gonna pick off with your elbow, all right? Somebody takes a shot from me over here, I'll pick it off with my elbow. If anybody takes a shot over here, I pick it off with my elbow. I do not want to reach down to block anything, all right? Because if I reach down to block a punch or a kick to my body, they're gonna throw a feint and then hit me in the face. This keeps my face open. So I always keep my hands up and everything to body gets picked off with my elbows. Body shot, block with my elbow. Body shot, I block with my elbow. If they go to the head, you just want to cover up, right? So if he throws a jab, I do not want to reach to try to parry the jab, all right? If he throws a jab, I'm just going to turn my hand like this. That would be catching his jab, all right? Just throws it there, catch the jab. Throws it there, catch the jab. You could also cover for the jab. So it's either a catch or a cover for the jab, right? Now, if he throws with his rear hands, that's a heavy hand, all right? It's going to come in hard. You can't catch a cross. If I try to catch a cross, it's going to hit me in the face. So when a cross comes, I just cover up. I'll catch a jab and then I'll cover up for a cross. Because you always want to keep your chin down, all right? And kind of like you're leaning forward with your head, because when you take a shot, you don't want your head to go back like that. You want to be able to stiffen up, take the shot. When you're blocking punches to the head, you don't want your hands out like this, because all that's going to happen is if he throws a jab, I'm punching myself. Throws a cross, I'm punching myself. So I keep my chin down, I keep my guard up, and I keep my knuckles right to my head and just absorb the punishment, you know? Bam, bam, all right? First thing we're gonna do is defend against low punches. So the punches come to this side of my body, I just pick it off with my elbow. So I pick it off with my elbow. He punches, I pick it off with my elbow. He punches. When you train for this, just work on one side, just picking off the shots with the elbow. Pick it off, boom, boom, just like that, right? Now, let's go to the head, right? My chin is down, my head is leaning forward. I stiffen my body up and I just take the shot, all right? I take the shot, boom. I'll just do cover just like that, right? Just cover up. Now we're gonna talk about slipping and movement. And one thing that is very important in defense is head movement, all right? And this is basically slipping to the left, slipping to the right. If I'm in a right stance, slipping to the left, slipping to the right, all right? My hands are up, slip to the left, slip to the right. Now, what is a slip? It's basically just a little tighter movement where you make your opponent miss. So if the punch is coming, I'm slipping to my left, making a miss. And if the punch is coming, I slip to my right and I make a miss. I'm putting weight on my left foot, right? I'm putting weight on my left foot and I'm just turning my body a little bit. It's almost like I'm pressing down on some kind of pad with my front foot. So if I slip to the left, it's this. Now, if I slip to the right, all I'm doing is putting weight on my right foot and turning the body a little bit and dipping my shoulder, all right? So I put weight on the body and I dip my shoulder. You can also roll or bob or weave to the right. All right, so I'll slip to my left, bob or weave to the right. Or I could go slip to the right, bob or weave, or roll to the left, all right? So You want practice. Another thing I wanted to cover that I didn't cover in the first video is the important thing to know about distance. If I'm a righty versus a righty, right? And I'm facing this guy, all his strong weapons are coming from his rear hand. Even though this guy doesn't have any hands, all his strong weapons are coming from his. So a right cross or a right overhand that I gotta be careful of. I'm less worried about this hand than this hand. I'm always cognizant of the stronger weapons, right? So when I'm moving, what I'd like to do is I'd like to circle to my right because I'm going to his weaker side, right? So if I'm in this position with him, let's say he doesn't move, he should be moving. But if I'm in this position with him, the only thing he's going to be able to do is throw a jab here, you know, or some kind of lead leg teep or something like that, right? So this is a good position for me because he can only hit me with one side of his body where I could come in and counter or to strike from here, right? Now, if I come this way, if I go to the left, I'm moving right into his power, right? He throws a right cross or a right overhand, I'm stepping right into it. Part of your defense when you're fighting is I always would try to circle to his weaker side, right? If you do see that he's just moving with you, right, and you want to maybe try to attack on the other side, if you do go to his stronger side, take a wide berth, right? So I'm over here, so I'm just wary of any kind of rear weapon, any kind of rear cross, any kind of rear leg kick, all right? But then let's talk about like kicks. I'm worried about a kick to the groin. I'm in my stance, the guy kicks to the groin. All I'm gonna do is just lift my leg in and pick it off with my knee. So any kind of leg kick to the groin, this is your defense, all right? Now if he does a rear leg Muay Thai kick, you have to shield, all right? So this is the shield, all right? And what I like to do is, again, I like to make my body a ball. The kick comes in, and I try not to leave a gap. Maybe we'll go shin to shin. You don't want this slipping in. If I keep up space, it's gonna come in and hit my side, right? So when I cover the, I don't leave a gap. My elbow touches my knee and I block it, right? And when you do a shield, it's at a 45-degree angle, and you have to have conditioned your shins for any kind of impact shin to shin. So that's one thing about Muay Thai is conditioning your shins to take shots like that. So those are the defenses of low line kicks, body kicks, head kicks. That's about it. Remember your range, remember your blocking, remember your slipping and movement, remember your footwork, and that will keep you more safer in a combat situation. Action Hounds Unite. Peace.